First story. I cut ties with my mom after she cheated on my dad, causing his death. She then married her affair partner just 10 days after his death and brought him to my father's house. Still, my delusional sister took my mom's side, becoming friends with the affair partner's kids. The whole family betrayed me and my dad. Okay, so in 2019, I was a senior in high school. My sister F19, who was 15 at the time, was a freshman. My mom is the manager of a dress boutique in Queens, New York, and my dad was a litigation lawyer in Manhattan. In February of 2019, my mom started acting strange. Before I get into that, I just want to say that before all this happened, she was a wonderful, loving mother who was so affectionate and involved in my life. She was wonderful, and I loved her more than anything in the world. Anyway, in February 2019, she started acting different, started hanging out with colleagues 15 to 20 years younger than her, and started buying designer clothes like Dior and Chanel. She also got her lips done like all the new Instagram girls and went out to expensive brunches and vacations in Europe without us. Well, my sister tagged along because they are besties. Anyway, my dad started noticing and getting suspicious after she was out very late on a Wednesday. So the next day when she was in the shower, he went snooping through her phone and found a bunch of illicit messages, photos, and even videos of her having an ex and dating with a younger man named Johnny. They had a big fight, and at the end of the fight, my mom said she didn't know who to choose. My dad worshipped my mom. He loved her very much, so he was crushed by this and how cold she was being. My father was sober since 27, but the next night he came home very drunk with a bottle of Irish whiskey and fell asleep on the kitchen floor. I knew he was really hurting because I've never seen him act like that. He was a lawyer, so he was always so professional. Well, 2 nights later on Saturday, he told me everything she was up to. Then told me he was going out drinking that night. I tried to stop him because he was over 12 years sober. But he said he'll be back in a few hours. Well, 2 AM came around and my mom woke me and my sister up hysterically crying saying your dad is in the hospital and we have to go now. What she didn't tell us until we got to the hospital was that he was dead, and she was there to identify his body. In that instant my world changed drastically. I lost my father, and as far as I was concerned it was all her fault. I couldn't even breathe. I need to fast forward this post about 10 days later was my father's wake, and I haven't spoken one word to my mother at this point. At some point she came up to me with a man, and he introduced himself as John. Immediately knew he was the one my mother was seeing. I couldn't believe she invited him to the wake. And to make matters worse, I watched the prick kneel at my dad's coffin and say a prayer over his dead body. I was sick to my stomach. I hated my mother after that. I called her every name in the book every day for months. I wanted to get her to hate me, so we wouldn't have to see each other anymore. But it didn't happen. She told me she loved me every day, and when I'm ready to talk she's right here. But I wanted nothing to do with her. Well, the end of school was coming up and I play baseball, and I was lucky enough to get 4 D1 scholarships to play baseball. One school was St. John's University in Queens, where mother actually went to school, and the plan was since junior year was to go there to be close to home and follow her into her alma mater. And that was the plan until signing day. I hated this woman, and nothing I did or said made her hate me, so I really wanted to stick it to her. So in signing I had her, my sister, and her parents come, and they were all stapled in St. John's red. But I didn't end up choosing St. John's. I chose Cal St. Fullerton in Los Angeles. You should have seen her face. It was priceless. She realized I was going to the whole other side of the country, and there was nothing she could do about it. She cried and begged me to stay home, but I didn't ignore her threat of the summer and took a flight to Los Angeles where I'd start school. Once I got there, I blocked her number. I had my dad's parents if I needed anything important, so it was easy to go no contact with her. That was over 4 years ago, and she still tries things like sending letters apologizing, begging me to come home for holidays. But I haven't been home in over 4 years. I haven't heard her voice in over 4 years. I spent holidays with my dad's parents in West Palm, Florida, and besides, she's engaged to that Johnny guy. Now they started dating like a month after my dad died, and he's getting married soon. He has 2 daughters my sister's age, and they became like best friends. They even went to the same college at Monmouth University in New Jersey, even in the same sorority. Which makes me upset. So I cut ties with my sister as well. Now that I'm on the baseball team, I've seen a lot of the good-looking Instagram girls at my school. All Los Angeles girls, so they have very little to no morals at all, and a lot of them want to date. But they remind me of my mom and what she did, so I all turn them down. But I hate it because I only have 1 year of eligibility left, and all my friends have found their life partners. And I'm just here alone, standing in front of this big fork in my road. I don't want to go back to New York without a partner, but I'm scared to let someone in. I met a very sweet, nice girl my first 2 months here at a taco shop on campus. Her name is Ellie, and we've been close friends for over 4 years now. She's not in a sorority or big on Instagram or where there's a bunch of designer clothes, and she has substance to her. She's a good girl who I like a lot, but I've never asked her out, and last week she asked me why I wouldn't date her. And she said she knows about my past and what my mom did and vowed she'd never do that to me. But as I was looking into her eyes and listening to her say this to me, I realized my mother said these same things to my father on their wedding day. So I said to her that I'd never marry her, I'd never date her, and I could never love her. I'm just a lone wolf. She started crying, saying that next year, once school is over, she will be going back to San Francisco, where she's from, and I'll be going back to New York, where I'm from, and life will go on, and we'll probably never see each other again. She also said that she doesn't want to live life without me, and she wished I could learn to love her before it's too late. Then she ran out, crying. That was 8 days ago now, and she won't pick up my calls or answer my texts. I'm starting to realize that there's nothing more on earth that I want than her, but I'm so scared of what could happen. I don't want to end up like my dad, and I've realized this is all because of my mom. I feel this way because I hate my mom, but the truth is, I love my mom very much. I'm just mad at her, and not speaking to her for half a decade isn't going to resolve my resentment towards her as much as I want to stay loyal to my dad. I'm thinking about forgiving my mom and going home and making things right with her. So I don't feel like this anymore because I really want to be with Ellie. But I think I have to forgive my mom first to set myself free. But I'm just scared she'll take it as her winning in the end. And I only have 1 school year left to make it right with Ellie. Please Reddit, I need help. What should I do? Should I forgive my mother? Please help me. Comments. SD Noob. Dude, are you really going to forgive your mom? After what she did? Dude, what did your father think about him? She never gave an F about you. Otherwise, she would have never cheated. And on top of that, she is now with her affair partner, living off what your father built for you. Clearly, she has no soul, and she chose her affair partner over her family. And your sister is just like her mother, BTW. And sorry if my words are harsh. OP. No, I understand. I don't think I'm going to forgive her anytime soon. Last month when I made this post, I wasn't in a great mental space because of a relationship I was trying to dodge with a girl. But she's a good girl. We talked it out, and I'm with her now. And she respects that I don't want a relationship with my mother. So therefore, I'm not going to reconnect with my mother or my sister. I have my girl now, and that's all I need. And as far as my house, my dad never wrote a will. So since they were married, I think my mom has a sole right to the house. But I am not sure. Piley 123. It is very understandable that you had no contact with your mother. I am happy you got the opportunity to choose where you could continue your education. One thing is for sure. If you judge and treat other women badly because of what your mother did, you are an adult. It is your responsibility to work through your issues, anger, and resentment. Forgiving your mom may be part of that work, and you should do it for you and your future. Yes, what your mom did is unforgivable in many ways, and you are still grieving your dad. But since it has a negative effect on your life, you need to deal with it. If you are not already in therapy, you should start and work through a plan on how to handle this with a therapist. If you decide to forgive your mom, you can also decide later what relationship you are prepared to have with her. There are many shades of gray. Meanwhile, have an honest talk with Ellie about how you feel and what is going on. Not to promise her anything you cannot keep, but you both deserve honest communication. Good luck. OP. Thank you. I apologized to Ellie a while ago, and I'm glad to say that we're together now. She makes me very happy. I'm also in therapy now, have been for over a month. Now I hear and listen to what my therapist says. But it just seems like she's very adamant about forgiving her for some reason. Like very adamant because she said she went through the same thing with her father when she was young, and she resented him for a while. But now they have a great relationship, so she thinks that could happen to me with my mom. But I don't know, I don't think I'm just ready yet. Or maybe I am and just scared to do so, because then it makes it real. If I forgive her, I can't just run away and hide from it anymore, and I don't want to betray my father by doing so. But I do miss her. Sometimes it's just such a hard situation for me, and I just feel like it's so much easier to run away and hide from it, and not even ever deal with it. Because I know once I go and forgive her, I'm going to be obligated to meet the affair partner and his family and do family stuff with them, and I just don't want to. I don't know, this whole situation just kills me every day, and I'm so torn on what to do. Second story. I told my husband he is not manly enough for me because he cooks, cleans, takes care of my kids, doesn't drink, lacks hobbies, won't force or dominate me, and spends all his free time with family. Now he is distancing himself, not talking to me, and sleeping in a separate room. Was I wrong to tell him he isn't manly enough? I know. This is a horrible, horrible thing to say. But I have to say it. It's a throwaway account. My husband and I are in our mid-40s, married over 20 years, and have 3 beautiful children, all double digits. I do love my husband, but I don't know if I am physically attracted to him. Not because of his looks, but because of how he lives his life. My husband is a good man, treats me very well, and is an amazing father to our children. Physically, he is tall with broad shoulders, not skinny or athletic, but not obese. He is a big guy with a big beard, big arms, and big hands. He is built like a linebacker. He can physically intimidate people with just his presence, although he never goes in to intentionally do that. He can control a room and has a very masculine job he excels at. However, the manliness ends there. This is why I may not be attracted to him anymore, if I ever was. He is not handy. It's not that he doesn't try to fix or do things around the house, but he cannot build anything. Anything he fixes never looks or works right. A lot of times, we have to hire people to fix or build things for us. He doesn't drink. He will go out once in a while and have a couple of beers, but he doesn't drink at home. My husband isn't into any manly stuff. He doesn't hunt, fish, or do anything with automobiles, and he is not big into sports. He has taken the kids fishing and shooting, just so they have the experience, but he does it just for them. He really doesn't have any hobbies. I begged him to take one up, so he started building Lego sets. He's in his 40s. He loves going to movies. He likes cooking. I never have to cook when he is home, and he does a lot of the house cleaning. I will give him this. He doesn't play video games or board games unless family time or do anime or any of that. He is not controlling in bed. Sex is okay, but I want him to take charge. I won't say anything about this to him. I wouldn't know where to start. I do love him. It's not that I want him to be a drunk or macho aggressive jerk, but sometimes I just want a man to take charge, fix things, and be a man. This is bad, I know. I feel bad saying it. I just needed to say it. Comments. Gelatogen. So, he's a great husband, helps with cooking, is a good father, and is physically masculine. But because he doesn't care about sports, drink, or build stuff, you aren't attracted to him. Ooh, okay. I'm sure there are tons of women out there who'd be happy to take him off of your hands so you could find a masculine man. The Swedishical. Are you out of your mind? This has to be a fake post designed to provoke outrage. OP, it is not. I know how it sounds. I should have framed it more as a question or advice on how to get my mind straight. I cannot seem to fix myself or change my feelings. Gelatogen. It seems you want an arsey hole who doesn't prioritize you, but can build stuff. Wisdom within me. Get professional help before you destroy everything. The problem isn't him. It's you. Go for IC ASAP. Low_yak 13719. Wait. He cooks, cleans, takes good care of the kids, and provides well for the family. Don't we normally hear complaints from women about how their husbands never do any of these things? God, I guess we just can't win. Thanks to God, not all women are looking for some dream or some fantasy they have concocted in their heads. Wow. Some people just live to complain, I guess. Judgment. There is no judgment on marriage, but everyone advises her to count her blessings and get some help. Update. 5 days later. Hello. I wanted to add a little update to my original post. I don't know how to link it to this one, so you will have to go into my history. I received a lot of hate for my thoughts and feelings. I realized when I wrote them and read comments about them that they come off as mean and cruel. I have no right to feel this way. The problem is that I do feel this way. I don't know how to change it. I thought about it for a few days and finally needed to take action because it was weighing on me so badly. I received some messages from people telling me to have a conversation with my husband. I decided to. I thought for quite a while about what I would say and how I would say it, and I tried to think of questions or statements he would have that I thought about responses to. Last night, we had the talk. Kids were at work and friends' houses. We were sitting outside, enjoying the fresh evening air. I brought it up. In short, nothing went as expected, and I am more confused about my marriage than I ever was. I began by telling him that I loved him. I love that he is a great father and person. However, there were some feelings I could not shake, and there were some changes from him that I needed. I talked about his hobbies, changing them up a bit. I was working on our bedroom and what I wanted out of it. I explained in the most sensitive way that I could about how I feel about his personality and overall measure as a man. I did not use those exact words. I was more gentle. However, in order to move forward with our marriage, I felt I needed to be honest. I did tell him that I wanted honesty from him as well, and wanted him to tell me what I could do to be a better wife. I know I cannot ask him to change without having some myself. I never expected his reaction. He literally just stared at me, said nothing. Emotionless reaction. No anger, sadness, acceptance, nothing. Just stared. I said everything I wanted to say. I was looking for a response. I have none. After sitting in silence for a while, waiting for some reaction or words, I just yelled at him to say something. At least tell me what I need to work on. The only thing he said to me last night was, "I knew who you were when I married you. I am not going to ask you to change anything." That's it. We sat in silence for at least an hour after that. Our oldest then came home from work, and he went to talk to him for a while, not about our conversation, but how work went and stuff. My husband did not sleep in bed last night. He slept on the basement couch. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to feel. I do feel better about telling him how I felt, but not as great as I thought. I really do not know how to feel. Maybe that's a sign my marriage is over. I can't feel anything about it. I should be happy I said it. Sad he won't talk to me, angry for no response. But I have nothing. I guess I'll give it some time for both of us to process. Comments. Papenstein. He responded like a man enough to me. Nice rat 123. And now OP will know what the strong and silent type feels like. Relationship toss out. Haha, you ruined your marriage. I should have listened to the other thread and looked inward. There's nothing for your husband to process. It seems he's processed it. He knows you don't want to be married to him. You told him that. How hurtful. I hope you remember this moment as you sign those divorce papers. The other thread was your moment to focus inward. You didn't. Instead, you destroyed it all. It sucks for you. It sucks more for him. So I feel no sympathy for you. F9 Monkey. Imagine a husband telling his wife, "Honey, I love you. You're really great. But I think you're not enough of a woman. I would feel better if you did traditionally feminine things, like all the housework, cooking, and cleaning. You should also wear a nice dress to look more woman. Then, when I get back home from a hard day's work, give me peace and worship my cork in the bedroom whenever I want it, even when you might not be in the mood." That's effectively what the OP did, just with the genders reversed. It's a bold strategy. Source separate 3759. And there you go. You're amazing, but all the other girls on social media have husbands that fix stuff and are manly, and I want you to be like them. For me, of course, but you'd be happier that way, I'm sure of it. Enjoy the Cats and Golden Girls reruns in your future. Art Native. You asked for advice. You got advice. You didn't listen to my advice. Now you've ruined a perfectly good marriage because you did not take the advice you asked for. This is a you problem, not a him problem. Wielder off aphorisms. The opposite of love is indifference. I think your husband may have just checked out. Update 2. My last update, I laid out what happened when I talked to my husband. He spent that night and last night on the couch downstairs, sleeping. We haven't talked about our conversation. He has talked to me, but not about that, and the talks we have are short. We have had our kids around all weekend, so I never got the opportunity to sit down with him, and with him sleeping downstairs, I figured to just give him some space. I don't know how to proceed. I have talked with a coworker about this, just to get advice since I needed someone in my life to talk to. He advised me to give it a bit of time to let my husband talk to me. But if there's no change offered by him, then it may be time to tell him that we need to separate. I don't want to do that, but it may come to that. I want him to see where I am coming from, and I want him to tell me what I can do to change. That is where we are. No real big update, but I will give it to him until the end of the week. If he doesn't initiate anything, I will. Edit. Okay, I had to edit this post because there have been some comments about my coworker. I had these feelings about my husband before I talked with my coworker. We are not having an affair. We are not doing anything inappropriate. He is giving me some guidance because he is a man, and I figured he could help. Nothing more than that. Also, please stop calling me a poss because I have these feelings, and am trying to navigate them with my husband. I cannot help my feelings any more than you can help yours. Think about that. Think about an off feeling you had and wish you didn't have. It's happened to everyone, including you. So please stop. Comments. Gelatojum. Wait. You asked a male coworker for advice about this situation. Jesus. Your husband needs to leave you. OP. Just a friendly coworker. Nothing weird is going on. Not any affairs or anything. Just someone to talk to. It's possible for people of the opposite sex to talk to one another without there being anything weird. Update 3. This is not so much an update as a repeat of the edit on my previous update. I am not having an affair with my coworker. I went to him after I had these feelings about my husband. For advice only. There is no emotional or physical affair going on. I go to him for advice. He gives it, and I either take it or I don't. He is not pushing me to do anything. It's just his advice. I literally have no other friends or family in this area, or I would have gone to them. Also, these are my feelings about my husband. I have tried very hard not to feel this way, but I can't stop. I don't know how many of the angels and pure people on this app are able to control their feelings so well, but you obviously are better than I am. None of you have ever had feelings you couldn't shake or feel bad about. If you say you have, you are a liar. I posted about my feelings because I am genuinely confused or scared and don't know what to do. I feel that you guys just bash, but provide no answers. There have been some of you that have been beautiful and helpful. Send me DMs, and I thank you for that. The rest of you in the comments should think before you post. If you don't want to provide sound advice, please just move on. Comments. Overrated News 0423. You need a lot of attention, huh? Paulinva. I'm shaking my head. You knew him when you married him, didn't you? You'll have some interesting stories to tell your dates when they ask why you're divorced. Third story. OP and his girlfriend had a tradition of watching adultery before doing the deed until they came across a video where the actress in the video looked the same as his girlfriend. Me 24M and my girlfriend 23F like to watch some adultery before we do the deed with each other. We both find that it spices up our sex lives, and watching together in a way strengthens our attraction for each other. We've been doing this tradition for a few months now, and it's been great up until yesterday. Our rule is that we alternate who gets to put in the video that we watch each time we have sex. So, I'll put on a video of my choice one day, and the next she puts on a video of hers. She was the one who proposed this idea, as she felt doing it this way added mystery for the other person since we wouldn't know what kind of video was in store for us. I like this routine for this exact reason, so I'm all for the alternating method. Anyway, yesterday it was my turn to choose a video. While she was in the bathroom, I opened our laptop like always and found a video I really liked. It was a typical one man, one woman style video, pretty vanilla. I got myself ready and waited for her. When she came out of the bathroom, I pressed play, and the video began. She joined me on the bed as the video got going, but about 15 seconds into it, she paused it. She turned to me angrily and asked why I chose this video. I didn't know why she was upset, so I didn't really know what to say to her. She eventually broke my silence and told me that the woman in the video looks exactly like her. I double-checked, and I realized, oh SHT, she does look like her. I truly hadn't noticed the similarity when I selected the video. But even then, I didn't understand why she was upset about this. In an attempt to lighten her mood, I jokingly told her, "Don't you think it's a little amusing that I find you so attractive that I even found a scene with someone who looks like you?" She absolutely did not find it amusing. She said she thought it was weird and gross that I would want to watch a video in which another man is having sex with someone who looks so similar to her. I tried telling her that I really didn't realize they were close looking, but she wasn't having any of it, which I can understand. I mean, they really did look similar. I don't know how I didn't catch it sooner. So, she closed the laptop, told me she wasn't in the mood anymore, and went to sleep. I'm writing this post now as she's sleeping, so I'm not sure how she's going to feel in the morning. TLDR. I weirded out my girlfriend by watching an adult video that featured a woman who looked very similar to her during our adultery before his ex routine. Comments. Alan from Wales 1. It could have been worse. She could have looked like her mother. Or your father. Or a meerkat. Thadazun. Plot twist. It was her. OP. It all makes sense now. G. Wriggles. Rewatch the video. Does the guy also look a lot like you? Chris Whitewolf. I'd normally call that a stretch, but it would perfectly explain an otherwise very strange reaction. Kevin Blass. Weird reaction from her. Cat lover. Exactly. No, I want you to get hard by looking at girls as different from me as possible. Unless she thought OP only dates her because she looks like his favorite adult actress. Which could be the case if she struggles with self-confidence and now feels fetishized in a way. Update. 1 day later. The quick summary of my previous post is that my girlfriend and I have a adultery before his ex tradition. Yesterday, I put on a video that included a woman who looked really similar to my girlfriend, which I somehow didn't notice. She noticed it quickly when we started watching, and the likeness made her upset. She wasn't in the mood for sex anymore, and she just went to bed. So, this morning, I woke up and spoke with her to figure out what exactly made her mad about the similarity, as she hadn't really made her specific reasoning clear to me yesterday. She told me that it had made her feel insecure about her body. She explained that, at least in her eyes, the woman in the video was super similar in appearance. Their faces in particular were the most alike. But the adult star had a nicer body. The woman had bigger breasts and was maybe a little bit thinner than my girlfriend. Just to be clear, this description of the woman is how my girlfriend described her, and I most definitely find my girlfriend more beautiful than the one from the video. Anyway, since she perceived the woman as essentially just me, my girlfriend, but with a better body, she felt insecure and thought that she wasn't able to satisfy me in bed, which is absolutely not true, by the way. In other words, she thought I chose that video because I wanted to watch a woman who looks super similar to her, but has a more attractive figure. Her explanation made a lot of sense to me, and I now completely understand why she was upset with the video. I told her that I was sorry for choosing that scene, and I explained that she is a beautiful woman who I am so lucky to be with. I also reiterated the fact that I truly hadn't made the connection between them until she mentioned it, and I said that I find her infinitely more attractive than any other woman out there. She was happy with my apology, and she also admitted that she may have overreacted just a little bit. We had an awesome hug, and then we had breakfast together, so we definitely got a good ending to our little conflict. P.S. Since so many people on my last post were wondering if she was actually the star from the video, no, she is not. The adult star's name is Blake Blossom, BTW, for those of you who were asking for it. TLDR. My girlfriend explained that she got upset because she felt that the adult star's body was better than hers, which made her feel insecure, and as if she wasn't enough for me. I apologized and explained that that wasn't the case. She accepted my apology, and we happily had breakfast, ending our small conflict in a healthy way. Comments. Mike Affer. Now I feel like this was all a stealth ad for Blake Blossom. Immersi0NN. Now, bud, if you ever repeat this story to friends around your girlfriend, you make damn sure you use the words, "This adult star looks like my girlfriend," and never, "My girlfriend looks like this adult star." Jonasalad. This dude has girlfriends. Toffit Mikey. TIFU by telling Redditors the name of the adult star my girlfriend resembles. Thank you for watching the video. If you are interested in listening to these kinds of stories, we've got more in store for you. Simply subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends.